We don't do a countdown for this show. This isn't iCarly, you know? I feel like you sometimes know when we're actually going to do one, at least have an inkling.
I mean, I just I just wait till you start talking.
I feel like it's a good cue. It's a more natural start. But yeah, a lot has happened. We're in a new year, 2026, and we're leaving last year behind for many of reasons. I would say last year wasn't too bad for me personally, though. There were some hills, some downs, things I didn't like. But I think I ended off strong, even though I got sick on Christmas. But how would you say last year went for you?
Oh, it is quite easily the worst year of my life.
If you hit
Um,
bedrock, is it just all up from here?
oh no, things can get worse.
How?
I'll
You
find out.
just said this
I'll
is the
find out on
worst.
Sunday. Yeah, because like I'll find out on Sunday if the Ravens are gonna make the playoffs.
Ah, okay. All right. I understand.
So there's a clear correlation to how my year's gonna be. By Sunday, I will know if I'm gonna have a good year.
Rituals are something that can be chalked up to woohoo, but we all know that many of NFL players have it. Many common people have it. You can just classify it as OCD in a certain respect. But what would you say is a ritual that you perform every day that kind of sets the tone for something? Whether it be you set the lights for when you're gonna play video games, or you drink or smoke, or just you romance yourself and the moment. You know what I mean?
Um, I think it's like like before I play video games, I gotta go to my desk. Okay,
Hmm.
I uh I have to have ideally the ideal circumstance is door open, nothing on my seat. I'm sitting on my one leg and the light in the kitchen on, but the light in the living room off and bathroom closed.
Okay. Do you have
These
like
are all
what?
things like if
Go,
I don't do it, I feel weird while playing.
okay. Do you have like an idea as to what your ideal gaming space would look like? Like what kind of lighting? Do you like loud lighting or little lighting? You know? Do you like the orangey kind of tint, or do you like something a little bit more LED colored?
I like LED colored.
Like LED?
I like the I like the bright white. I don't like the orange tint. If
Okay.
I were to pick,
Why do you think that is? Sorry, I just want to get
I I,
psychological on you.
I just think it's like aesthetic thing, dude. I don't think it
Okay.
has anything to do with anything else. I just feel like for me, like white is brighter, so when the lights are on, like it feels like I could see more.
Are
Like
you
with my
afraid?
kitchen light, I still can't see like often. I still have trouble seeing because of like where it's placed and like the shadows. But with the white LED light, it's a lot less shadows.
If
So
you had a starting point, do you think you come from light or dark? What's your base color? Or lack of there? Or every color? I don't know. A shade, evidently.
I would say hmm, I would say I was light.
That's a good thing, right? Does light always mean right? Does white always mean right? I think no, but Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, if you remember that show, the light was actually evil, and it was cool. Fucking loved it. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX really did a different. It took a different take on the card game, a little bit more psychologically. You know what I mean? I feel like the first one, Duel Monsters, was more lore heavy and more explainy as to what the origins of the game was. And then GX was, we can utilize the power of these things. How can we utilize it? And evidently it's fighting high school students for the fate of the universe.
The way God intended.
The way God intended. Come on, man. Does it not disappoint you a little that there's no like little hologram machines to project the monsters that you play on a board? It's such an easy thing to do. You add a tiny little QR code scanny bar thing to the back of every card. It also legitimizes it in that type of fashion. And then, you have the dual disc and it reads the back of it and it projects it. Like they did that with what game was it? Like Spyro and like Skylanders, is that what it's called? Skylanders?
Perhaps.
I think so, right? But yeah, we're gonna go with that. Skylanders had like these little amiibo things, kind of like how the Wii U used to have. Remember that?
Hmm.
Wait, I feel like that works. Why do you think it didn't though?
I just think people like don't like new things. People want the newest thing. The thing is, people want new things off of things they know. They don't actually
Hmm.
want new things. It's like everyone wants the newest iPhone, but no one wants to buy a phone from a new company, no matter what its features are.
This is
So
true. Everybody's on a team.
exactly. So I think that's the way with everything. So people don't like new things.
So
Not
would
really.
you even classify something like that as a problem, or does conflict arise from the duality or triality that comes with, picking a team? It's one against one or whatever it may be. Just, is it a problem inherently? It's like how some bad, quote unquote, bad things aren't necessarily sins to begin with, but you could still view them as, I don't sit on that side of the fence, you know?
Right. But what exactly is your question?
Not gonna lie, I saw the text that Lorenzo sent of, sorry I couldn't get back on last night. The edible hit too hard, and honestly, that's been me for like the past almost 2 hours.
You're
uh,
just cooked.
I've missed
Just
you,
cooked.
bud. I love talking to you.
Yeah, we have some fun times.
I think we have the
I miss
greatest
you
of times. Um, what's it called? But yeah, kind of I digress heavily. But light and dark, you know what I mean? With the light, you get to show off everything. You get to just, you know, be who you want to be. Sometimes I think it can go too far. Sometimes you shouldn't be just naked in front of your window all the time. Like, there, that's not a sin, but that's not necessarily appropriate. Does that make sense?
bro.
It's like, I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that, so I have to go out of my way to make sure I don't walk past that neighborhood now.
Yeah, but it's like cheating. You know? It's not. No, no, no. For real, it's not
Yeah, go ahead.
really illegal.
It's not
It's not
illegal,
really illegal.
but it is a
But
sin, though.
everyone frowns upon you.
Yeah, it is a
Frown.
sin, though.
Oh, god damn it!
Yeah, yeah.
I died.
Speaking of sins, man, how do you... Speaking of light and dark, classifying the seven deadly sins, the anime, the one that was almost the greatest anime of all time, but was
Could have been.
instead held over. Jujutsu Kaisen is the greatest anime of all time,
Clearly.
clearly, but seven deadly sins, close second. What went wrong? I actually want to talk about this.
In Seven Deadly Sins?
Yeah, what
Now,
went
are we
wrong?
talking about, like, first of all, they basically did the Boruto treatment before the Boruto. So that's where that went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, cause like for me, the animation got worse, but I didn't think it was unwatchable. But a lot of people had a lot of problems with the animation.
When
Um,
hot savory nut is pouring out of your mouth, it just doesn't look right. And I know you can just try to be mature enough and appropriate enough for that, but it's like it's such an unnecessary change that it can do nothing but harm for the anime. It just makes no sense to retract. You don't show somebody something and then take it away from them, especially without reasoning. Like, there's no real reasoning to turn the blood white. So it's just off putting. It makes people go, are there other things that are censored or not put in from the manga? People like manga true things, but most people don't like the fucking read, you know? People want to hear, oh, it's a faithful adaptation. There's very few times where it's okay for something to not be faithful, like The Boys. But season 1 of Seven Deadly Sins, I mean, what characters were your superstars in that season?
the entire show, the best character is Escanor. And I'm not saying that because like, oh, he's cool, powerful. No, I'm literally saying that because he was the most entertaining. Like I still found him the funniest.
Yeah.
Because like that kind of like that like how like his cowering humor was I always thought was really funny.
It's,
And it's like
yeah.
even funnier because it's like he's just like it's like this guy is terrified of everything but can really one shot you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I like
But
that. I
could
thought it was
really
funny.
one shot you, bro.
Yeah, so I my favorite was Escanor, and then I really liked I was also a very big King guy. I like King a lot, so
King. Yes, King. I was like, wait, why can't I remember this? Yes, King. King was a good one until I realized he was. I don't know. I don't know. I like him. I liked his thing with Merlin, whatever her name is. It's Merlin, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Merlin.
But I don't know. I feel I feel like Bond and Meliodas were my superstars. Cause I mean, listen, I know the pervert stuff. Like I get that. That's not okay. None of that's okay. It's okay, but not okay. It's okay because it's medieval. Notice how Game of Thrones is not like, oh my god, who put this sick shit on the internet? Is perfect. No, it's like that's what happened. So, uh, regardless, I like their duality. I like their friendship. You know, I like the introduction of
I like their friendship.
Bond, Captain, boom, and they just punch each other in the face. Like what a greeting.
I like Bond a lot as well. He ultimately ended up taking over King. So for me, it was like Escanor then Bond.
Yeah.
As the seasons went on. But Meliodas, my problem, and it's okay. This is why I'll never like love his character. I liked him enough, but I'll never love him. My problem was I'm not a big fan of characters that play dumb. Like if you're dumb,
Interesting. Why?
like I don't know. I don't like it. Like I just feel like you're deceiving me. But like I see the point, but I don't like it. Like Goku's dumb. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's okay if you're dumb, and like Luffy's dumb. Luffy's too dumb for me. But like it's okay if you're dumb, like Goku or like Naruto. But then when you're fighting, it's like you know what you're doing. I'm okay with that. I
Mm-hmm.
hate the people that act stupid. Like that deception annoys the shit out of me. It's so smug, and I don't like it.
You need.
But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate Meliodas. I still thought he was cool. I still thought he was funny. Like it was good. Like it was fine. But he just wasn't my favorite because of that.
You know, okay, I actually want to talk about it, not in like episodic summary order, but just to go over like smaller plot points and everything to really dissect it. But something about Meliodas' character that I loved, and I feel like no anime has ever done it correctly, and the closest one that can do it correctly is Tokyo Ghoul, but they refuse to give it a proper adaptation until apparently this year. Apparently, we're gonna get a trailer in March, but we'll see. Uh, just the no, like I'm playing dumb, but I need you to understand what 2,000 years of living actually looks like in hell. This is hell to me. And you can either cry or you can laugh, and that's what Toya does in My Hero. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can either laugh or you can cry. I might choose to do both. But if those are my only options, how do you look that in the face every day? There's a level of awareness that becomes maddening. And I feel like Gojo also could have been a great character to kind of show that, to make the ultimate spoilers for the manga if you haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen or read it. Sorry, and the Gojo Sukuna fight. Skip this until I'll put the number to skip here. But why wouldn't you just give us Gojo versus Heian Arasukuna? Like, why was that hard? Like, why would you not do that?
So, look. Also, let me clarify. So I like something.
Mm.
Um, when I said play dumb, I don't mind the play dumb like be silly. I'm talking about the play dumb like deliberately hiding information that could easily help people.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of their problems in sins like could be solved by him just talking. It's kind of like what annoyed me with like with Wicked, even though it's not her playing dumb, but like
Mm-hmm.
Alphabet like keeping things to herself is a direct link to like 50% of her problems. It annoys the shit out of me. It's like you and I know what you're saying. Oh well, you know they're not talkative. I get that, or maybe they're keeping things to themselves. I get that too. But hey, the weight of the world is on the line, and you're fucking bleeding, fighting, like busting your ass to solve it, and all you have to do is fucking open your mouth. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so annoying. But whatever. And then in Jujutsu Kaisen, I think that I think, and I told you this when I read it, and I was the first person to tell you, I was like, dude, Jujutsu Kaisen, that's it, wrap it up. I'm telling you, this is done. And you're like, no, 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 there's no way. I was like, bro, trust me, when you see it, you're gonna hate it. And I told you that day another big flaw that animes, manga, comic books, hell, even movies sometimes do, like Walking Dead did this, and it was a big problem. It's the deaths for the sake of shocks. It's just to shock you. When a death is just to shock you, it lacks narrative point. It's stupid. It feels silly. So to your point, we didn't get that fight, and it feels silly. If we got that fight and he would have died for what like during the fight, like it would have made more narrative sense. But no, instead you get a bunch of bullshit. He died, like and makes the people frustrated because it feels like the death wasn't warranted. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
Yeah.
was mad. Like people were sad, heartbroken, terrible
I
when
felt
Jiraiya
this. I
died.
felt. Oh, Jiraiya. Oh no, that's
But
yeah.
nobody sat there and was actually mad because like it made narrative point. It made sense.
Yeah.
It drove Naruto like it made sense, and you got to see his big like goodbye moment. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's the type of shit. That's why, to your point, they definitely should have given that fight. But then fucking like artists always want to do the stupid ass. Bro, honestly, bro, I wouldn't even be surprised, bro, if they're fucking gonna be like if they fucking in Jujutsu Kaisen fucking if they do something like somehow like Sukuna and shit like fucking gets cooked and then Gojo and him have that kind of crazy level fight in like hell or something. Because that's how over the top ridiculous like the over the top ridiculous they have opened the doors to. It wasn't always like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think because if you start early doors, this is open ridiculous. By the end of season one is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could have more ridiculousness because it feels like it makes sense to the world. But if you do it how Jujutsu Kaisen do it, all of a sudden season two, like mid season two, people are like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is this, dude?" Season two is literally borderline a different anime. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's silly. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my rant
I
on that.
I think there were definitely signs that this anime was gonna take a left turn, but it shows you that like Shoko was very useless. It shows you how weak this generation of sorcerers is, and I get that. That's a great concept to follow through on, and it would have shown more if you had Gojo beat this version of Sukuna, introduced Heian era Sukuna not as an incarnation of Megumi. Like, what's the point of that whole like vomiting on him scene, and he gets his two extra arms and extra mouth with his weapons, like just spit Megumi's body out and explain that instead of I'm explaining this by Megumi's taking all the hits to his soul, not Sukuna. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we? How are you differentiating? Aspects of the soul like that, but you can't just do a very simple thing and making these fights make sense. They're choreographed very fun and very well. I'll give it that. In terms of choreography, Jujutsu Kaisen does have some great fights, but if you
Yeah, bro, it
gave
has some great fights, but it doesn't have the fight that everyone wanted to see. So who
yeah,
cares?
yes, if you had the forearms versus Gojo and Sukuna just dusted him like that, that would have made me go, "Oh, this is what it means to be the strongest amongst the strongest. The strongest amongst the weakest, which is Gojo, really was nothing." Like
Bro,
it could have been that. It could have been that.
Bro, I honestly, what I would have liked is go ahead, do your Megami thing, and then have Gojo fight him. And the reason Gojo dies is because he can't kill a student.
Yeah.
Literally, that's it. That's it. And you preserve him, and he's good. Say it's the same thing in Naruto, kind of, sort of, that they did with Itachi, right? Itachi was clearing. Oh, how's he gonna die? Well, we're gonna have him die, but it's gonna be like he's sick. It's not him losing a fight. It's everything else that's on top of that. When
Mhm.
Spider-Man died in the comics, it's in Ultimate Spider-Man, he didn't just die because he lost a fight. He died because he was fucking exhausted
Yeah.
all day, 6v1, and like that. It's like other factors is what makes the death memorable. Like how, and then even then you could circle it back because Gojo's the strongest and all that. And it would have been sick. He doesn't kill Megami, he dies. And even then, when he dies, because he couldn't kill Megami, that even then, that shows everyone out. He's not just the strongest physically, he's the strongest in a whole nother way. Because he knew he wasn't going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, like, it's stupid. It's stupid. It annoys me. It's dumb. is dumb. Also,
Okay.
Jason, let's
Yes.
be real. Let's be real.
Being real.
Gojo's death Gojo's death is ass. It's an ass. Ass.
It's
This
really
man,
bad. It's very bad.
this man goes around smacking everyone. This man goes around smacking anyone. He starts smacking this dude and then dies because he was fucking like caught off guard.
He
Makes
was
no
just
sense.
looking to the right when he should have been looking to the left. Okay.
You have never introduced this aspect to his character. Now, if you're gonna tell me that happens to Vegeta because he's giving like a prideful like speech, I'm like, okay, I get that. When the fuck have we ever seen Gojo be like a guy that gets caught off guard? It makes no fucking sense.
It
It
makes no
drove me
sense.
insane.
Yeah.
It drove me insane, dude.
Well,
It's
I
such a
mean,
dumb death.
he was kind of caught off guard with Toji, but that was to a point due to exhaustion. He thought he was safe inside of the barrier, and while yes, he can notice him, it's the Batman tactic of just slowly bleed your enemy. You don't gotta kill him. You don't even really have to beat him in a one-on-one, but just bleed him out, and that's what Toji did to Gojo, and it would make a lot of sense in the Sukuna fight, but you can't have Gojo saying, "Oh, my curse technique is just so much better," and then try to explain that because he lost every domain clash, that means he was weaker. He's not clearly one thing you got to give it up to Sukuna in that aspect to defend the greatest fraud in history. Um,
Oh, but this is the annoying part is I like Sukuna.
I do too.
I
I
like
do
him.
too.
They just fucked it up. You know
They
what I mean? Like
did.
I like the idea. They just fucked it up. All right, sorry. Continue.
No,
Continue
no,
yourself.
they fucked the idea up. He just had this four-armed, like even Kashimo was like, "Oh my god, he's beautiful," and just had this huge boner for Sukuna. He wanted to take it off of him and give it to him, like your honor, chosen one, the fallen one. Like that fallen, like there's so much lore that they could have really built upon, and people can give their opinions about how long the big three were, but at least it was too long instead of too short, because you can cut the fat out of too long. You can't add more to the too short, and if you do, it just feels weird in a lot of people's eyes. It's just how it is.
Bro, there is no one of the worst things, the worst crime is not just anime, it's in writing.
Okay.
Okay, one of the worst crimes is when you set up the fucking Chekhov's gun and it doesn't pay off. Like, it is so dumb. Like, it is
Mm-hmm.
so dumb and unnecessary. It is such bad writing to sit there and be like, Gojo's the strongest. Oh, be careful if you say he's never, you don't want to see him go all out. And he's never gone all out. It is such bad, right? Like, it's incredibly bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Naruto, all this talk about the gates. Shit, are we ever gonna see? Okay. Then guess what? Might win all 8 gates because that's what you've been setting up the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's why I used to tell Alex, my niece, and my friend Chris, I'd be like, that is why I believe, and people hate when I say this, and Brian, people hate. Shout out to Brian. People hate when I say this. They hate when I say, dude, in One Piece, if I have any prediction right now, I'm telling you, I believe Sanji's gonna use his hands in like the last battle. And everyone's like, no, that makes sense. I was like, brother, listen. If he does not, do you understand how bad his story's being written for that?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not gonna use his hands. Okay, why is that bad? Well, because he's a cook, and he's love with all the women, whatever. Okay, so he has training from his family. He's basically a fucking Power Ranger who doesn't use his hands, but knows their fighting style, knows how to use his hands.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him use knives before, knows how to do it. And in the biggest moment of their fucking lives, this motherfucker, dude, if I had a friend like that, if at the biggest moment of my fucking life, everything on the line, you're gonna look at me and be like, well, I can't use my hands. I'd be like, go fuck yourself. Shut the fuck up. That's bad writing. It's bad writing. So if he does it, it's very bad writing. How do I think he should do it? I think here are the two options. One, either A, he just full on embraces his family's like fight style and Power Ranger mode, and he just kicks the shit out of people. Or B, he does it with just using knives. The reason should be that whoever you want to establish as his love interest, or maybe he just does it for the girls on the boat, whatever you want to do, it should be over a fucking woman because that's his fucking character. I hate the fucking like to your point, everything's always so fucking overcomplicated. And
Mm-hmm.
like it's dumb. It's dumb, you know? It's blown out of proportion all the time. Fucking perfect example of the conversation we had. Gohan doesn't want to fight. But the world is on the fucking line. Is he gonna just be like, oh sorry, I don't fight? No. He had to. You know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
imagine Jason, how bad of a story that would have been if come Buu Saga and Gohan's doing the Great Saiyaman Come Buu Saga and all that, Gohan still refuses to fight while watching all his family die. And they just die. You'd be like, this is dumb.
I would
Like,
say I would just say it's dumb after Dragon Ball Z. I think Super could have been really great, but it wasn't, and I think that just comes with the fact that GT was better. No, I think it just comes with the fact that you showed
diabolical
us.
work.
What'd you say?
Diabolical work if you meant it.
Just you can't show us a level of action and violence and gore and then retract that. You just can't do that. You can't do that, and that's what happened in Super. I think you're only supposed to get gorier up until you just have to end. Otherwise, it just turns into porn, you know. And I don't even mean porn as in people fucking. I just mean porn as in the pervertization of a concept, something that's just taken way too far. Anything could be taken way too far. So just, I don't like murder porn. I don't like just it can become too over the top. There's literally a scene in The Boys where Marvin yells at I was gonna call him Willie Huey, simply for the fact that, bro, all you have to do is just sit here and watch porn with them, which sounds not like the hardest thing to do if like you're a guy, but at the same time, what he was watching, this is just uncomfortable. Like, how long do you go before you gotta say something to somebody? Like, if you walked into my house, right, Javi? Because you love coming to my house and you love coming to watch me eat. If you just saw me with porn on the TV, at what point do you say something?
I think it comes down to what the porn is. Like, if it's like
Yeah.
that, like soft core porn, I think I could ignore it, like background noise. Like, it would just be like you watching a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if it's like some aggressive stuff, some vulgar stuff, like I
Gaping
would be like,
anal.
yeah, see that might be a problem. Because I'm gonna look at you and be like, all right, dude, either you're pulling your pants down or you turn this off. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, because, dude, that's an aggressive thing to do. Like, what kind of signals are you supposed to get from that? If you're a woman, you just leave. Like, I remember reading this article of Iggy Azalea saying that she went to record a song with Kanye, and one of the first things he said to her was, I watch a lot of your porn, referring to her OnlyFans. And it's like, that's Kanye saying that, but here's my question, here's my follow-up. Is that okay to say to a porn star? Now, I genuinely have that question. Is it okay to say something like that to a porn star? Because it seems like it's offensive, and it seems like they take it offensively when you bring up their work. But it's your work! If I ask Tyler how, how's work been, he'll tell me fine, he'll probably tell me a detailed, funny story at work, you know? And I know it's not as visual of a thing as porn stars, do. But even you, Javi, I ask you about how your day is, you just tell me. Why do you think they get offended?
I think it's because it's a different environment. All right, it's like you're not you're not going to Subway to enjoy a sandwich. Okay, like if you're at
What?
Subway and you got a sandwich and your guy made a good sandwich, listen to me, it all comes together in the end.
Okay.
And you're eating the sandwich, you're like, hey man, this is a good sandwich, right? But like with porn, it's like most of the time you're like jerking or fiddling yourself when watching. Like you're bringing pleasure to yourself off of like the backs of their bodies and like watching them.
Many
So
more
I think
comfortable
that's the
words to
difference.
say, but continue.
but you know what I'm saying? I think that's the difference. Because if it was like again, yeah, like if I don't know, let's just say like if you were really watching porn for the plot, like I think I get it. But knowing, I think what makes them uncomfortable is like, all right, you're like you were probably touching yourself to the thought of me, and now you're telling me I did a good job. Like that is maybe kind of
You did a good
know,
job, son.
yeah. So that is kind of weird. So shout out to the women of the porn industry. I got your back.
Fuck, what are you, fucking advocate? Fuck you.
Hey,
Jesus.
listen, man. Listen, in this life, bro. Life is so short. I say do whatever the fuck you want, bro. I don't care. I don't care, dude. I don't give a fuck. I'm not watching. I don't care. Do
Listen,
whatever you want.
I understand both sides of the fence. Like, you asked me at New Year's. So, Jason, what's your take on this whole anti-Semitic hate thing? And my answer to it is seemingly justified. But that is not reason or cause to... Guys, I just don't stand on the murder people side of the fence. If there's kill versus not kill, I'm on not kill. Okay? But I think a great compromise is I believe in a healthy ass whooping. I think everyone can agree.
Healthy ass whooping.
I think kill and not kill sides of the fence can agree to, okay, kick his ass. That satisfies both sides. I don't see why it wouldn't. Like, you can beat him close to death and teach him a lesson, or you could, for the people who can't handle violence like that, white moms of America, you just give him a stern talking to, or something like that. It's like, I don't know. My mind is trailing off in 1,000 different... I'm trying to remember the original point. Jesus. This thing might be winning.
Yeah, you're getting your ass kicked.
Nah, I'm fine. But no, I do believe that... Listen, no matter how you feel about people, I believe in the good ending. And I think the good ending is when we can all talk to each other. I think the good ending is when we're not literally trying to exterminate an individual or mass of people for XYZ reason. I think we talk it out. Talking is a beautiful gift that we have that seemingly no other animal or insect on the planet can do it as well as we can. We can admire the ways that they do it, but they in no fashion communicate better than we do, just simply due to the fact that they didn't create the internet. We did. And that came from a programming language. That came from understanding. So...
That's a dub in Jason's book.
Yeah. So, I think...
Fuck you, dog. Fuck you. You didn't create the internet, bitch.
You didn't. No fucking sea snail came on land and put rock together. Rocks are magic. Like, how do you not believe in the whole, like, magic is real, fucking big wizard beards and odd outfits through every time period? Every wizard looks the same. You ever notice that? You look at Linus Torvalds, look at fucking Einstein, you look at Oppenheimer, like, give some of them some bigger beards maybe, but at the same time, all wizards look the same through every generation. I think that's fair to say. And it's when we use the word wizard that people have a certain association with that word. And it's why it's so hard to effectively communicate what you mean to people. You're working, like right now we're working with the English language. There's so much I want to convey to you and express to you, but it only comes out one way and with so many bits of information. The bits being the words individually, the letters individually, the meaning behind the symbols that we speak into existence. So, even more reason why Jujutsu Kaisen is a giant letdown, because having a two-mouthed creature like Sukuna, I mean, yeah, that man should be unbeatable. I'm just saying. No, the power of friendship should not have won. There we go. Tied it back around.
Look at you. Superstar.
Seriously, man. You have one of the greatest designed characters in shonen history, and that's what you do with him? Get the fuck out of my face.
We'll always have season 1.
We'll always have season 1.
I mean, dude, I think for me, it's not even close. Like all jokes aside, it's easily the worst season 1 to season 2 anime I've ever watched. Like it's not even close for me. Like there's some other bad ones.
Mm,
Like uh, I forget if it was season 2 to 3, maybe. Death Note Twins, hated that. But there's some bad ones.
yeah.
But that one is diabolically bad.
It is, and it sucks. You know what I mean? I think a lot of stories become rough drafts of grander ideas after a certain point, like Dragon Ball Z. I, for one, am somebody who thinks that you should rewrite everything after the Cell Saga. I think you
I
keep.
completely disagree. I just want to put that out there. I do not share this belief.
Okay,
Thank you.
your opinion is wrong, but we'll explore that option in a moment.
You like
So,
GT, bro?
I.
Shut up! Shut up! You like GT? Shut up! I'm not hearing it from you.
Oh man, dude, just
But go ahead, go ahead. You're gonna rewrite. You're gonna rewrite Cell the saga.
not even the Cell
Go ahead.
Saga too much. Listen, I could live with the fact that Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2. Would it be cool if Vegeta did it instead? Yes. But I can live with Gohan doing it.
Well,
So
I think too, Luke. Like, sorry to cut you off, but
no,
I
go
think
ahead.
too, like, we got to remember the time period, like the before the backlash. Like, it makes sense, even more sense outside of the story in meta. It
Mm.
made sense that it was Gohan because the idea was Gohan was taking over. Like
Yes.
that was the
Yes.
plan.
Plan.
Like I
Yeah.
don't blame them for not in meta. But go ahead, continue your in story chain. Go ahead.
I just think that they had those two options. They had two options, and there's actually another anime that does the second option, and it just doesn't do it as well. Like, it just doesn't do it to what this concept could be done to. Um, you have the, yeah, Gohan takes over, or you have Vegeta is now on par with Goku in terms of main character. Like, if we had 5 straight Vegeta episodes, it actually wouldn't be weird. You get what I
Mm.
mean? And I feel like Black Clover, for example, is an anime. Same thing with Naruto, but more so Black Clover, where you have these two seemingly equal level characters, but only one is really the main character. And I understand that for many of writing reasons. But I think if you just had episodes, like alternating episodes of Yuno and Asta, I think it could
You
have
already
worked.
know.
But I'll say this last thing. You want to know what show actually did do that decently well? Anytime it did do it, Supernatural. You had Sam and or Dean episodes, even Bobby episodes, and it didn't feel weird.
I think to your point, Naruto did it well as well.
Up to a certain point.
Because like in Shippuden, like it wasn't full episodes, but I thought like they did a good well to remind you Sasuke's importance still.
No,
You know what I'm saying? I
no.
think they did a good job.
Sasuke,
I don't like all
no.
their narrative choices,
No,
but I
Sasuke came
like
in like Taylor Lautner for like 5 times, dog. Even in the movies, he just came in with his shirt
oh no.
half opened, and it's like, I'm Sasuke with sexy music playing, and Naruto's like, why do you have to steal my
You
moment?
like that, huh?
Fuck
You like that?
you. Fuck you and your.
No, I thought it was handled well. I thought it was handled well because the problem is you like, and I think they did a good job of it. So my reason why I think they did well is because at the same time the narrative had to keep them separate. Like for the story to work, they could not have been together. So you only get fuck. I almost died. All right, sorry. You only get a certain amount of like you can only get a certain amount of him of them on screen together or any communication together. And they've never, and to your point, they have also never done the supernatural thing of like, okay, each characters are getting the full owned episode. So I
Sometimes
think
episodes. Like, I think Yuno and Asta should have alternated episodes where
oh yeah, I
you
told you my biggest thing about Black Clover, love it, but my favorite character is it's not even close.
it's
So
Yuno, but
I
how
just
can
sit
you?
there,
It's just he's
I
put no.
cry, I wait till he's on TV.
He is the full expression of potential man. If the lowest end of potential man is Megumi for Shigeru, the upper end of potential man
Oh
is
God,
Yuno. All right, Yuno is a better character than Megumi. I just want to say that straight up, and it's not even
I
saying
think so
much
too.
because Yuno is white bread. At the end of the day, he's white
I
bread.
agree.
And you can like
I
white
love him for
bread.
the
I
white
like a white bread grilled cheese. There is nothing wrong with a white bread grilled cheese. It's pretty good. But at the end of the day, it's bleached flour. It's pretend. It stays inside all day. It doesn't see the sun enough, and it's actually pretty bad for you. Fucking
Like, here's the thing. Here's
fake
the thing, bro.
melancholy.
No, I'm pushing back on you. No, no. You know what the white bread is? You know what the white bread is, bro? I'm gonna tell you the white bread is. Who it is. The white bread is the Naruto's, the Goku, the Luffy, the fucking Asta. They're all the same fucking character. They're all
Wow.
dumb and have a something they need to accomplish. They're all dumb, something they want to accomplish, and then they like fighting. That's literally their character. They're literally 90% the same. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Wow. You're just gonna attack some of the
And
most popular characters out there?
everybody, I like them. I like them. But let's stop fucking acting like they're not the same fucking person. Everybody else out there, oh, like, bro, the slight differences. It's slight differences. Like, literally slight differences. Like, literally the only difference between Luffy and Goku is Luffy's dumber. Like, do you understand that? They both like to
Who's
fight. They
dumber,
both like to eat.
Luffy or Dragon Ball Super Goku?
Dragon Ball Super Goku is pretty dumb.
He's pretty fucking stupid.
He's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
He's pretty dumb. So, but like, bro, like they both like to eat. They both like to fight. They both like to defend their friends. Oh, don't. It's the same shit.
Mhm.
It's the same fucking archetype spit right back in your face. And to that point, the opposite is true as well. The Megami, the Sasuke, the Vegeta, they're the same fucking person. They're all the same. It's the same archetype. So for me, I like a character, like I like to tie it back, like I said, So like for me, I like the reason that the others work well, and for me, doesn't, is because the the more reserved or like too cool for school character, that character only works when you have the balance of the idiot next to him. Because like when the idiot is successful, that makes the too cool for school guy being like, oh shit, like you actually did it. Their reaction is what sells their success. It's fucking dumb. And so that's why they should have more, in Black Clover. I said what I said.
So, would you say?
Also, full transparency, I've only ever seen One Piece to like episode 600 because I literally could not stomach. I couldn't like, I'm not even kidding. You could ask Brian, like you could ask Alex, you could ask like Chris, like, bro, anybody who's ever made me watch One Piece, I actively look annoyed at how stupid Luffy is. It annoys the fuck out of me. It really does.
I think when it comes to stories like that, I think those are good for you though.
Everybody always tells me that like later on, like it gets better, he gets better in terms of like his stupidity. So yeah. I'll hold reserve judgment for that. But as of right now, where I'm at, bro, I can't stand him, dude. He's just frustratingly dumb. Like, and also they have weird like jokes that I just don't think work. Like one of them is like Zoro having like a really, really bad like sense of direction. Like I don't find it funny at all. And every time they make the joke, I kind of just cringe. And like I'm just like, I don't get it, really. Like, and then Sanji's like chasing women thing, like it has moments where it's funny, but bro, it goes so annoying. It gets annoying quick as hell.
Is it like the sexual assault levels of Brock from Pokemon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
Because that was the thing too. Like, if I had to watch like Brock for 1 season, 2 seasons of Pokemon, he's like a pervy character. That's fine. Jiraiya, that was fine because I didn't have to deal with like Jiraiya separate because like he wasn't a main character, but I didn't have to deal with the whole time. I'm like, this is just in your face. Like even going forward, I'm like this Sanji thing doesn't like, at least so far, it doesn't ever stop. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And like at least with Brock, eventually fucking, obviously the story shifts to other characters and the main trio aren't there. But even when Brock comes back, he's kind of like not as bad. He kind of grew up a little bit.
Yeah,
so
it's like, of course, it's like Master Roshi. Master Roshi grew up, still.
Yeah. Master Roshi, biggest perv of them all.
Yeah, Meliodas would have a word with you.
Yeah, that's fine. But to be fair, even though Meliodas is older, he doesn't look as old. Like Master Roshi does look that old.
He looks like a wrinkled ball sack.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Which
he
I
looks
think
like
makes
when
it
it looks
worse.
like when it's cold outside. It's just not. It's not nice. um, no, I hear you. Listen, there's many of ways to fix these things, but I also think that we ourselves can do good stories. Even though I sometimes struggle to articulate myself, I feel like in the times that I struggle to articulate, I think it's a problem of not being able to convey things due to language, so I want to use music and art and different things to express what it is I'm trying to say. Like, what are you really trying to say? It's like how I said I personally think Aizen is the greatest villain in all of anime, simply for the fact that he is trying to teach you what manifestation actually looks like. He told everybody what his plan was 2 times, dipped for like 100 something episodes, came back, told everybody again, and then just had to physically show everybody and tell them one more time what I'm trying to do. And even then, we still don't really see what he means until the Thousand-Year Blood War arc, which, by the way, I have only seen up to episode 2, simply for the fact that I never I did not never I saw one spoiler. I know one big thing that's gonna happen, but I stayed away from all the manga and spoilers for fucking years since the anime ended. But you get what I mean? Like, that's just my opinion.
So my opinion is, for you should watch Thousand Year War. I've said
100%.
this before. People hate it. People hate on me for saying this. Suck my fucking balls. Thousand Year War is way better than the original Bleach. You can suck my balls. I don't care. That being said, um, I think like I think like to your point with like the greatest villain. I think I disagree with you. You know why?
What?
Because for me, I can see why you make that your criteria for greatest villain. I see that. I see why, and it makes sense. Like, don't think like, but I have a different criteria. For
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
the
exactly.
greatest the greatest villains are the villains that you're looking at them after all said and done, and they were right. Nothing is better than a justified villain than someone who's right.
That's a good one.
Because like I love it's kind of like what makes a character like a character. Let's say let's stop jump into comics real quick. It's kind of what makes a character like we'll do we'll do Magneto, right? So Magneto, like the reason Magneto's so great is he's a villain because of how he does things. Him and Professor X have the same dream, they just have different sides of the coin. And he has principle. It's why he won't kill Professor X. He doesn't kill Charles and he doesn't kill mutants. Why? Because that's not what he wants to do. That he's not a villain trying to kill everyone. No, he has a villain. He's a villain with a purpose. And his purpose is so strong and he believes in it so much that in his head, he thinks, I'm gonna do this. And when I accomplish this, Charles, you're gonna see it my way. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
believe in what I told you. There's no reason for us to hate each other. And so that kind of like spin on a villain, like
Mm-hmm.
that's the type of shit that gets you going. When you're sitting there and you're like, yo, but he's right. Like, say whatever you want to say about Thanos, but he was right. The world's population couldn't bear more. It's gonna be a problem. They did have to have things, but
Yeah.
you can't do that. But he's wrong morally. You know what I mean? So it's and the man believed in his shit so much he killed his own daughter. That's some shit.
Yeah.
That's some shit, you know? So
Yeah.
that's kind of my criteria for like the best villains of all time.
I think
I
that's
haven't
great
narrowed it down to
criteria.
one, but
I think that goes with my I think that's on equal footing with my criteria in terms of like relevancy to what characteristics you're looking for. Not even looking for, just something you didn't even know was a part of a character. You know? So when a character is right, when you say Thanos was right, he was right, especially for the fact that he made what he said come true. He said, fuck it. If you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. And he put on the glove. And that was a big moment. And it and he did it. He succeeded. He won. Undoubtedly, he won. And the superheroes were petty. So they went back in time. All right, I'm just saying. You want to talk about being sore losers? The heroes are sore losers. But
It's the same thing now that we're getting Doctor Doom, and
mm-hmm.
it looks like it's gonna be an Iron Man variant. Like it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick because fucking Tony gets to sit there like he was doing at the end of Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Tony said to Steve, he was like, "I told you we needed to protect the world. I told you this was gonna happen," and he was right.
Yeah.
And so once we get Doctor Doom and it's an evil Tony, and they're fighting him, he's going to have a lot, like what he says is gonna be a lot of weight. He's gonna be like, "I was right. I was like, you were wrong. Like we could fight about this all day. We could do all this, like Captain America loves to say. You can do this all day. We can do this all day because you were wrong. In the end, part for part, moment after moment, you were wrong. And this version of me listened to you, and people got hurt. So I'm not doing that anymore."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and like that makes perfect sense for a villain arc.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of nice because now, you know, if it does play out this way, you then have now Cap who's sitting there and is like, because now you have to save the world, you have to stop someone that was your friend, you have to stop someone that's your friend, stop them from doing more harm than good, and you have to sit with yourself and be like, I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem because I was wrong.
Yeah.
So like and that's like a cool, like we'll see how they handle it, but that's a cool story in my opinion.
I think that's a perfect example of manifestation. I think what you say has the possibility to come true. I think anything written, drawn, or expressed has, is, or will happen. Undoubtedly, in some capacity, it will happen, whether it's just simply words that you write and it doesn't happen physically, or it does happen physically. And you see that, like, as you said, with some of the best villains. When I tell you that the government is corrupt and then they openly start killing people, which has happened in history, why does it take that level? Why does it take that level of gore and of an example, a hard lesson for people to really learn? And maybe it lends into the fact that there is no such thing as a painless lesson. It's just varying degrees of pain, you know? And that's what compromise is. So compromise can also be looked at as a good or a bad thing. You're just going to compromise on everything, never stick anything out, or compromising is good because balancing things and taking an end or taking an example from two ends of something, I think is better than just being on one side of the fence. You could be a Democrat or Republican. You could be fucking sports fans are harder to use in a sense because you can't really be on both teams.
Yeah, that's a little hard, but that's
Yeah.
like I'm sure, like, you know, in the times when they were like gladiators and shit, like they weren't sitting there like everyone's rooting for both guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
yeah.
Which still lends to the reality of things. But regardless of compromising or not compromising, I think the biggest lesson to take is the fact that if you speak it, it carries more weight than something that is not spoken. So be aware of what you say out loud and especially to yourself because you want to say the best things possible. This year, my New Year's resolution, my wish, whatever you want to call it, my purpose is to be the greatest expression of myself. And the greatest expression of myself I visualize as somebody who gets up and he does some of the hardest things first thing in the morning. He writes down his day, and everything that he writes down, he gets done. Because if you do everything you say comes true. And that can only be practiced by habit, habitual behavior in that direction. So if I can't see a better version of myself, how am I going to be a better version of myself? You know? So manifestation, some of the greatest villains ever talk about it. What are you trying to manifest this year?
Just honestly, it's pretty simple for me, man. I just want a happier year. It's not really anything crazy, and it's not like I just want a happier year. It just
Mm-hmm.
it's been a tough year for me, and not just like recent stuff. It's just been an overwhelming tough year for me. And I've been doing my best to manage it, and um, I just hope that next year that or this year, this upcoming year is oh well, the Ravens win the Super Bowl, and And no, and I feel, maybe not as much burden. Feel a little like a little easier. Um and like I continue happiness. Like at the end of the day, that's kind of all I would want. That's all I would ask for. It
Hmm.
doesn't really matter how or why. I'm not one to be too crazy into the specifics. Just that that as a whole, to just be a little bit, have the year go a little bit more positively for me. That's that's what I would wish for.
There's nothing wrong with a little ambiguity. A general sense of what you want is still better than no sense. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
some.
it's because like I'm doing a bunch of new stuff, as
Mm,
you know. So like I don't. It could be any of them that pay off or work out. Like I'm not like tied to like, oh, it has to be this, it has to be that. Like, oh, I have to uh do this, I have to get this video game or that video game. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It can just be as simple as like, oh, okay, so this is the one that worked out. That would make me happy. I'm not.
mm. I think I fall like in the same category with you in terms of like how I aspire to attain things. But one thing I've learned from Vanessa is that you can have the ambiguity, but you need to compromise and also have a solid. You need to have something, at least one thing, so that way you're not just pouring into a million buckets and eventually, yes, you create a tsunami, but having at least like a contingency, a focused shot of something. So whether it be like I am legitimately going to stream every day for an hour minimum. You're going to have some days you do more than an hour, but at least minimum you do an hour. You could do it with working out. You can do it with reading. You can do it with walking. You can do it with playing the guitar, the fucking oboe, you know? But just having one solid thing. So when you look back and somebody asks you, what are you proud of? You could say my ability to be happier than I was, which is, there's weight to that. But also, I'm proud of the fact that I actually learned how to play the guitar this year. Like, I decided to just get through the hard part because time was going to pass anyways. You know?
Yeah, I guess so, but I think with to your point that's innately that's a more like prideful approach.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could sit there and like become super rich, let's say, right?
Okay.
But like, I wouldn't be happy if my friends and family were broke.
Yeah.
But that so I wouldn't. So like it just depends, right? So I think like for me, like I would be I don't I'm not doing any of this so I could like to your point, if someone goes, hey, what'd you accomplish? And I can be like, oh look, I did this. Like I don't. That's not the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it more to like just find a little bit more of myself in a way
Mm-hmm.
and just enjoy things that perhaps I haven't in the past or perhaps like I didn't. Because I think for me, a big if I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm proud of myself, like a big thing I'm proud of is just surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because like, and to the point, that's hard for other people to understand, especially if there are people who haven't dealt with like really severe like depression. Like this is something like this year, my life is very easy. It would be very easy for me to just sit down and not get back up. So like, and it's a conversation that people don't like to have because it makes them uncomfortable, and that's okay. I understand that too. No, a lot of people don't like talking about death. I
Yeah.
don't blame them, but at the same time, like sometimes like the most minimalist of things for certain people is way more important than anything even that you can accomplish. So that's how I look at it. So sometimes as the fact that I'm willing to be there and be like, hey, I want to improve this or I want to try this new thing next year, like for me right now in my life, that's enough right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I look at it like that. But I see your point. I really do. Like it makes sense.
I think you see it because one of your favorite characters is Escanor. You
Yeah.
understand the lion pride that is, the sin of pride. You get it. And
Hmm.
we can categorize it as sin, But I think honed, good pride isn't necessarily even a sin. I think there's nothing wrong with believing in yourself. And it's not about being arrogant, because if you I think being arrogant is the sinful version of what being prideful is. What would be the virtuous version? That's the question. Like, what's a word to describe the virtuousness of pride? Because I think in some of Vegeta's coolest moments, his pride is his shining aspect. I think your biggest kryptonite is also your Superman. The thing, it's also your yellow sun. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like, I think you get it, and I think if you go knocking on that door, because you know where that guy is. You know where that guy is in your brain. And sorry, not sorry, we all have a problem opening certain doors in our brain because we know it can break us. And that's the truth of the reality. We think we're very soft and vulnerable on the outside. Imagine how delicate the inside is. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
right, right.
speaking as to what you said, like feeling like even survival is something to be proud of. Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
it. I get it. You know? But I think if you have that pride in you, you're going to be able to look further than that. Whether you can, I think even feeling a sense of fear towards, am I going to survive? It, like, how is my outlook on life going to look 5 years from now? Shit, fuck that. I don't even want to think about 6 months from now. Not even tomorrow. I'm just going to get past the next hour. Eventually, eventually, somebody is going to be looking to you for help. And there is no worse feeling in my mind than feeling like you cannot protect somebody. I can almost come to a level of acceptance not being able to protect myself because I could take accountability and go, well, I didn't live like Jackie Chan my entire life. I wasn't in the jiu-jitsu gym wrestling my dick off and punching little Asian midgets in the Philippines forests, you know? Instead, I lived and did other things in life, so I can take that accountability. But if I had let somebody die, I think that's a lesson that's so hard to learn that most people never recover from. It's like how a lot of people's MMA careers actually end with the first knockout because then people really start to go, "Oh, I'm not invincible." But what makes the difference between a guy that's saying I'm not invincible and coming to terms with his mortality versus Conor McGregor, who actually still goes up after being choked, submitted by Joe Duffy in an underground league, and then becoming double champ in the greatest organization on the planet? You know what I mean? Is it a sense of delusion? What do you have to do? Who do you have to be? How do you have to talk about yourself and to yourself? What do you have to write down? What do you have to visualize? Like, what is it going to take for you to be the greatest expression of yourself? Honestly.
I am so sorry. Can you repeat that? Like literally the last 30 seconds? Because Luna ate my. Luna got into my. Dude, she opened the container and ate my fish, and left me just
Jesus.
onions, dude. I gotta order
Jesus.
food now. I'm so mad.
You gotta hide stuff from her. She's a savage.
Yeah, it's because you know how I got that new table with the new chairs she
Yeah.
can get on that table.
Yeah.
Dude,
She's a
anytime I'm not
savage.
paying attention, she's plotting. So sorry,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
it's okay. Just basically, the sum of it is, what is it gonna take for you to take complete accountability? Like, what do you need to actually make the change to be the greatest expression of yourself, the one that can just drop down into a split because you want to be able to feel free in every bodily movement? You feel trapped when you're tight, you know? Or, damn, I don't actually know how to spell certain words, so I studied the dictionary. I study, like Eminem style. It bothered him so much because he was white in a primarily black, you know, career path, essentially, that it's like, I actually really need to be on my shit. You know what I mean? And I think that's just what happens when you are the minority in everything, in anything. You have to find a way to keep up with the rest. You need to find a way to even be better than the rest. So, what do you need at this point in your life to start being the greatest expression of yourself?
I think, man, I think it's just continue to do more, continue to do even more of things that I like to do. I think it's as simple as that. I think I'm somebody that for a long time, um, uh, I've been driven by disappointing people, by anxiety, and now, especially like um after some of the stuff I went through this year, I I I felt so the thing is I felt like I had given to others so much. Like that's why I get so hurt when I lose a friend or something like that because I know how much energy and time I put into that, and it's never like it's very rarely the same. I rarely get the same energy back, and I'm not mad at that. I understand and I respect it because not everyone's the same, so not everyone can give the same amount of energy. But in doing that, a lot of my drive and happiness has been derived from other people, other people's happiness and other people's drive. Like I'm somebody that very easily, very, very easily, we're all in the room. If one person's upset, that's enough to make me upset. And I don't even know what's going on. I'm someone like that. Like I've always been able to like pick up on energies, channel it. Like I've always been able to do stuff like that. So I think I've gone through a long time where I was in my life, and still, and I'm not saying it'll change overnight. I don't think it'll ever really change.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done so much for other people that like oftentimes it's like it feels like it's so like it so at times it feels like I find myself being like, but where's that like love for me? Like where's that respect for me? Like what about me? And then I think to myself, and I've thought about it, that like nobody's gonna like love you unless you love like yourself, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
nobody's gonna do anything like for me, like I have to do it. um but what comes with that is then I can't give as much anymore. And so for me, like that's what I said, like starting to do things that I like to do. Like I'm not gonna do things just to do them because they just make other people happy, which I did for the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to do that anymore because at the end of the day, like when all this stuff happened, I was the only one crying. You know what I mean? So it's like that for me is kind of like my biggest lesson of this, like, I guess last year, but
Mm-hmm.
also what I think I would need to become what you could say, like, I'm going to just say the best version of myself because I can't remember the exact phrasing used. So I think that's like what it's going to take. So just a little bit more about me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously not enough that you're doing harm to other people, right? Like I'm not, but like a little bit more focus on me. Like even like yesterday, the perfect example yesterday. Like yesterday, I would have instead of just being like, you know what, man, this isn't working. I'm just gonna go play PoE 2 with Dave. Like I'm someone who would have sat there and be like, all right, guys, but what do you want to play? Like let's figure it out. Come on, we have to do this podcast and bother and like and then at the end of the day, you all would have ended up doing what you wanted to do, and I would have sat there with a new game that we only played for 10 minutes and been like, all right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I was like, you know what, this isn't working out. You guys are not on the same page, which is fine. I'm not complaining about it, but you're not on the same page. So I'm gonna go do this, and then once we figure it out, I will happily come and join back. So like
Yeah.
that's just one minuscule example of like certain things of like how I want to start handling things, coming my way, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah.
Okay. No, I hear you. I think the way that I see this is I like to it's it's like I'm parodying selfishness as a concept. And I'd like to imagine this is just the way I grew up, but whenever I've had those thoughts of like when is it my turn? I used to. It's weird being at a time in your life where you have those thoughts, and that's actually what encapsulates you as a person. And then one day, it's like you get the little elf in the room, and he's like, so fucking what? And it's like a Italian mob boss talking to you, and it's like, oh, Tony Montana, you make complete sense to me now. No, it's I've always seen things from a path of stop being a bitch, and I don't think that's everybody. That's how I don't feel like that's how most people were raised. Most people were not raised that way. You know what I mean? But I think there's something powerful to it, but there's also something that you lose. You lose a bit of compassion in something like that. You know what I mean? And I feel like even speaking from this angle, the true thing I want to express is that you can always find a compromise. And I think when the emotion of anger is the thing that is shown, it is your body trying to communicate that there is a true lack of connection and understanding. Because that, if somebody doesn't understand you and you're trying to talk to them, you start to get angry. And I think the same thing applies to when somebody's either saying something that might upset you for some reason. Like, there's different degrees of, like, somebody could say something that's truly upsetting. Like, if I said something very vile and nasty about you and your character, I'm your friend. I understand why something personal would be offensive. Like, it's rude, or to put somebody on blast for any reason. But I think there's also something to a healthy dose of you have to look in the mirror sometimes and ask yourself, dude, am I being a bitch about this? Honestly, I think there's different ways to take accountability. And that's the way that I don't, I know how to look at it differently, but it's also a comfort thing at this point to look at it like that. You know what I mean? It's like how misery loves company. There's comfort in misery. There's comfort, I find, in melancholy, where it's an unexplainable sadness. But because it's unexplainable, that's why it's sad and that's why it's so addicting. There's something to it. I completely understand it. I completely get it. But I think when you stop trying to understand a point completely, it's the same as quitting. And there's a difference between resting and quitting. In a video game, you could just never play the game again, or you could just save your data, put it on pause, and play it in 2 days from now when you've cooled off. Maybe it pissed you off for some reason, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
I like to correlate things in that fashion. And I'm not saying the way that I'm expressing it and the way that I do it is right by any means. I am not a perfect product. I have my share of problems, and it's probably because I do this to myself. You know what I mean? I don't know. I would just rather always be open because I know the second that I close my doors, I'm no better than anybody else in a sense. And I don't mean that in a cocky and unhumble way. I mean it in that if there was a room full of people and everybody decided to close their minds, close their doors, you know what I mean? Like, think about the position that puts you in. Kind of like what you were saying. You don't like people who are just not going to say certain things for simply what reason? Because you want to act stupid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think all of this, each way that we feel, I think there's always a common ground, and that's what allows for good conversation in this facet, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. I think so. To your point, of like basically you bullying yourself. Um. No, like, but like, I'm not even trying to be like that.
No,
It's
no,
really
I,
funny.
I do bully
Kind of.
myself. I'm the only one who can.
Yeah. No, I think that works for you, and I think that makes sense. Like for you. And I think the goal is not. So I think that's one of those few things in life that how you overcome that, right? I think it's more about the end goal than it is the journey. Do you get what I'm saying? Like whether that's you laugh through your pain, or like you said, you bully yourself, or like some people need to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's a positive trait, like it's not like doing like drugs and shit or like hurting people. As long as you use it in a positive outlet, I think that's one of the few things that necessarily like going through the actual journey isn't as important as getting to the goal.
Yeah.
in that sense.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, you know, but you said, hey, I heard you say it. You said you were going to be nicer to yourself.
Yes,
You said it on this podcast.
I have
So you
to
have to be
explore
nicer
that.
to yourself.
I do. I have to explore that because if I don't explore being nicer to myself, then I'm never going to actually understand the other side, and that bothers me. That's a sense of trap. Like, that's a trapped feeling of me going, oh, if I don't understand them, then there can never really be true happiness and trust between us, and I don't like that. That bothers me because I feel like when you put yourself in a position of darkness where you're concealing things, it comes off as that. It comes off as
Yep.
mischievous. It comes off as
I,
deceitful, you know?
I agree. I mean, look, there's plenty of times with plenty of different people like that you can sit there and like, they might actually not be doing anything like shady, but it feels that way because you just don't like have a window into what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so to your point, like yeah, like what you're saying, I think makes a lot of sense because at the end of the day, like you can't you can't understand somebody, like you can't read anyone's mind, right? So
Yeah.
because you can't read anyone's mind, you can only understand what you're given. And if you're not given anything to understand, then you'll just never understand that person or that aspect of their personality, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of words
Um,
that can be exchanged between two people. You know what I mean? We've been talking for an hour, like a little over an hour, and we could talk forever, you know?
yeah, but at the same time, I'm not hating on people who don't like to talk
Mm-hmm.
and don't like going through shit.
I'll hate on them.
But no, huh?
Yeah, I'll do it.
But I think like just just remember, and I think it's so key, man. Like I was talking to Tati about this before during the car ride. It was like it's so important to remember like how you like to be loved or treated isn't necessarily how someone else likes to be loved or treated. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you have a friend or partner or anything and you're like, I don't really like sharing my stuff. I don't really want to talk about this stuff. That's fine, but just remember like how they handle that and process that is going to be completely different than how you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important to at least be aware of. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, like dude, like it's very easy to um it's very
Mm-hmm.
easy for a lot often it's very easy to get locked in on your own like thoughts and stuff. Um but at the same time, you gotta ask you like straight up, Jason, me and you got no problem.
Mm-hmm.
At some point I gotta ask myself, hey, do I want to like fix this? Like, do I want to talk about this? If my answer is yes, but I'm mad, then grow up and go talk about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Talk
But
about it.
if your answer is like no, I'm done, then that's it. You're done. But then don't and it's okay to reach like it's okay if you're done, but don't sit there and be surprised if someone else doesn't understand because you haven't talked about it and you don't want to. And that goes for any relationship, that goes for any problem, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Dude, if you weren't meant to talk, God would have made you a dog, bro.
I think the one of the harshest realities I've come to is the fact that sometimes something is being conveyed and you don't actually hear it. And there's nothing you can really do about it besides making conscious efforts to try to understand something you didn't even know there was something to understand. And
Hmm.
I, you can only literally learn that on a day-to-day basis when you open your eyes a little bit more, when you introspect on, oh, somebody said this, hold on, let me actually think about that for 2 seconds. I can be very airheady because words can pass through my head in one ear out the other. Like, I heard all of it, I didn't act on everything because like it made sense as a sentence, but then also, oh shit, you're bleeding out, my bad, I was calling an emergency number, I was accidentally calling the wrong emergency number, just some silly shit. But All in
Yeah, because
all.
I think to the point you're making, and
Mm,
these are the two major things, and it's never as black and white. It's never easy to understand. You're always going to be everything's fucked anyway.
yeah.
But to that point, like you were saying, there's two major things that I agree to augment your point. There are things. There's always going to be things you don't notice, but it's not like that you don't notice. But it is not your fault. Okay, like Jason, if
Yes,
you
I can
don't notice
agree.
I'm angry at you and you don't notice, that's not on you. That's on me for not telling you how I feel. I think a lot of times, like especially with especially in the new generation, bro. A lot of times people get mad for other people not knowing the assuming not assuming and knowing their feelings. You know, you're an adult. Communicate. If something's bothering you, tell you it bothers you. Like I will, you'll never hear from me, like, oh man, this is annoying me.
Mm,
Oh man, like whatever. Like talk. And then the other major thing is too. At the end of the day, Jason, and this is something I've actually had countless conversations with to Vanessa about, and we're always on the on opposite sides here because she doesn't like when I say this, but it's true. I think she's objectively wrong here. At the end of the day, you can only help to the level that that person wants to be helped. Even if you give them everything, even if you like, you could literally kill yourself giving everything to a person, and if they don't want it, it does not matter, and it doesn't. And you know what else? They get to say that you didn't help them
mm,
because giving help is just one step. Everybody forgets acceptance of help is 10 times more important than actually getting help. You have to want to get help.
yeah.
Like how many times do we hear the story of like a drug addict being brought into a rehab and they come back and start doing drugs again? They don't want to be helped, and that's the hardest part because you're sitting there, someone you care about, someone you love, and you're like, I want to help you, but
Mm-hmm.
you won't let me, or I don't know how. Like, what can I do to help you? And sometimes the answer is as simple as you can't. They don't want you to, and
Yeah.
you have to accept that.
I'll give you my quote of the year. Uh, we'll do quote of the year 2025. Or, you know what, 2026. There is no sense in watering seedless dirt, for you will only create mud. I think that's something to take a lot of wisdom from. You're like, just to kind of put the button on that point of, you can't make anybody try harder than they want to try. So you can give them everything in the world, and the I think you could have a negative reaction where you just create mud, where instead you could have just let it naturally grow, and it could have grown to what you wanted it to be. It might have just taken 140 years as opposed to 14. That's just
Hmm.
the way it is sometimes. And that is truly a scary thing when you look at it. Time really is the last, and I mean the last of the enemies, technically. You know what I mean? I think you look at Baragon from Bleach, number 2. At the end of the day, time will make him turn. He will turn to dust. You know what I mean? How
Yeah,
do you
listen.
beat time? Like, hold your breath. If you held your breath right now, you're not beating time. You're just not. You cannot be. Even a blue whale, for as long as it can hold its breath, it's not beating time.
Are
That's
you
scary.
a? Is that your? Did you make that quote up? Because I have a quote, but I made it up.
I don't know if I made that up. I remember reading something that sounded like that. So I'll take co-ownership with whoever said it first. Let me look it up to see.
So here's my quote. And this could have also happened at some time during comics. It has no relevance to any conversation we're having, but I like this quote, and so I'm going to make it my quote of the year. And I made it up, I think.
Hmm.
Just picture yourself as a very smart person, Mr. Fantastic, Oppenheimer, whoever you want it to be. Just think you're very smart because that's the personality type you have to actually be willing to say this quote. My quote is, "When you're as smart as me,
Hmm.
okay,
Okay.
it's not a mistake, it's an
Yo, yo,
accuracy."
It's a what?
When you're as smart as me, it's not a mistake. It's inaccuracy.
It's inaccuracy. Interesting. Interesting. Hello, sir. How are you?
Chillin'. How are you guys?
Good. We're
What
just
up,
about to
Squanch?
end this
What up?
podcast. Do you have any
You joined the last like 30 seconds for the podcast. Congrats.
Yeah, actually, I have a question for you now. Because I asked it to Javi. What do you need this year to become the greatest expression of yourself?
Abundance.
My shadow, wanna jump up in my Lamborghini Gallardo, baby go to my place